Hey, it's John and Mike, brewdashly.com. We are drinking Jar of Destiny beers. This is Mike's pull from the last pick. I think that was pick number 15. This is from the 2015 BJCP guidelines. It's a Schwarzbier. It's 8B if you're looking it up online like I am right now. We even did a little video where you chose some commercial styles. I was going to say professional. Commercial versions of the style, at least from our neck of the woods. That I don't know. I thought like maybe one out of the four. One out of the four actually fit guidelines.
A lot of American interpretation.
That's how it is. You know, Americans is like, meh, let's do this instead. That's how it is. So, what did you learn from that tasting session? And what do you think you're bringing to this one, do you think? Do you want to talk about how you formulated this
the tasting
recipe?
session, for the most part, I think demonstrated in like 3 out of the 4 examples that it's very easy to go over the top. And depending on the type of brewer you are, you might be pulled towards that, which is what makes this a classic style, is to resist that desire to get pulled into it. I've always sort of in my mind viewed Schwarzbier as essentially a Pilsner, but dark in color. But not dark in color, meaning it's not some sort of German version of stout. It's not supposed to be overly roasty, overly caramelly. It should be as if you're drinking a light lager blindfolded, but it has this darker color. So trying to get the color without it presenting too roasty. There's going to be some roasty notes there because of how you get the color. But it should drink like a Pilsner, maybe not be as, depending on what kind of Pilsner we're talking about here. I'm a German Pilsner, maybe not as bitter as that, but it should just be highly drinkable lager, just that it's darker in color for aesthetic reasons, I imagine.
I agree.
So, but yeah, that's the thing. So, in the beginning, I thought, okay, well, if I want it to just be very Pilsner-like but be dark, what would a recipe look like if it was just Pilsner malt and just enough dark malt to make it dark? And then doing a little more reading, a little more thinking, and even some comments before too. The idea of it just being dark malt and Pilsner would probably make it seem a little thin. So trying to build in a little bit of character, but again, staying restrained so it doesn't drift into some other zone. Right? So let me give you the basic grain bill here. So this is 68% Bohemian Pilsner malt, because that, like Fleur malted, that has a little bit more character anyway. 20% light Munich, 5% Carapils. Then I went with 4 ounces of Black Prince malt, which is not traditional. It's an American ingredient, but it's a dehusked thing, so I went for that. And then just 2% Malinoiden and 2% Carafa Special 3, which is probably more traditional. But I was just trying to play on that Carafa 3 and the Black Prince. I think what actually happened when I was brewing it, the original recipe didn't have Black Prince in it. But when I drew the wort, I said, this isn't dark enough. It just wasn't dark enough. So what did I have on hand? I had Black Prince, and that's what I did to adjust color. So there we are. I was also shooting, now for ultimate drinkability, I went with a big step mash. This is the first time I've ever done this, but I actually went for 10 minutes at 135 on the really high end of a protein rest. Then 142 for 50 minutes, and then I let it ramp all the way up to 168. So I didn't really spend too much time in that higher zone, but I was just trying to get a super fermentable wort out of it. My water profile favors sulfate a little bit more than chloride. For hops, not traditional, but this is what I had at the time. But for bittering hops, it doesn't really matter that much. I just did 8 grams, this is a 3.5 gallon batch, of nugget for 60 minutes, just to get me some backbone. But then to make sure you get that character, it's 2 full ounces of Hersbrucker.
Nice.
With 15 minutes to go.
Not?
To get a little flavor, maybe not so much. I wasn't focused on aroma there. And then you have to go classic. I used the Cellar Science German strain, which is the 3470, the Weinstefaner strain. And just because I really wanted to really get a great ferment and good attenuation, this is actually re-pitched on that yeast from my Munich lager experiment we did a few weeks back too. So I direct pitched right in the cake. I didn't bother to even whatever. Starting gravity was 1048, finished at 1011. I'm pretty happy with that for just under 5% at 4.8% ABV. So so that's it. That's the recipe.
That is it. Well, let's talk about the color because that's important. It's clearing nicely. Seeing some reddish hues in the darkness there. Very nice color, I think.
Yeah, and it's not black. It's a really deep brown.
Yep.
Which I think is what the guidelines talk about. Because if you really, really wanted to get to jet black, you'd probably get too much of that flavor quality in there.
Yep. So your Black Prince improvisation worked out well. On the nose, I was taking some whiffs while you were talking there. Getting some of the malt in there. Maybe just a hint of the Schwarzbier.
Yeah, to me there's a little bit of a floral quality on the nose.
Yeah.
And I don't have a whole lot of experience with Schwarzbier, but maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Extremely drinkable. I mean, the first sip I took, I was like, oh, this is cold. This is really, I mean, I could have probably took a big chug down to the bottom of the glass there. But yeah, this drink's real nice and easy, which I was really hoping that it was.
Yep.
Even with some of the like you said, the carapils in there, with a little bit more body.
Yep.
Still pretty light on, my palate.
Yeah.
There's not much like holding me back from just taking more swigs.
When I was preparing for the video and I went back and looked at the recipe, I was like, man, there's a lot of ingredients in here, which is not, I try to keep it
simple,
leaner than this, but that's how it came out. And, looking at several other recipes too, I'm surprised that there's just enough complexity to it, but it's still a pretty simple flavor profile and highly drinkable.
Yeah.
That's what you're going for there for sure. The aroma really intrigues me. There is that like slightly crackery, slightly floral note to it. I like that it's not like, I don't get a lot of toast. I don't get a lot of caramel or anything. So, I mean, I think that's what the beer is supposed to do. I think you look at it and go, oh, this is a dark beer. And you smell it and you taste it and you go, where is the punch, right? Where is the punch? And it's not there. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, maybe I'll have 2 or 3 of these because it's really good.
Yes, I will have 2 or 3 of these.
Really balanced.
So my question for you, because you pitched onto the yeast cake from your Munich lager, how long was fermentation?
Oh, I mean, it kicked off within
hours,
6 hours, and then I would come down and look at it, once a day, maybe twice a day. But within 3.5 days, it was then really starting to slow down. And also down here in the basement, it was maintaining, say, 65, 67. So, with this particular strain, that's why I like using it. I didn't feel like I needed to run a 2-3 week 50-degree fermentation. No. It just doesn't seem to be the case with all these other lagers we've been experimenting with. Yeah. So it works really well. And so being on the cake too, I mean, it just fermented really quickly. And
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And even if we did get some temperature fluctuation in the basement as it got hotter out or whatever, the bulk of it was done before that happened. Yeah. So, and a lot of your off flavors might come from warmer temperatures while the cells are trying to divide and grow in number in order to get the job done. But putting it on that cake, there's plenty of yeast cells and very healthy yeast cells. So that's the key. That's the key. You can almost do anything you want. Environment-wise at that point, because they're just gonna do their thing.
All right. Well, that concludes. Any other notes that you want to talk about?
No. This is a style I probably wouldn't think to brew, but I'm glad that the jar tossed it in my direction, and I'm pretty pleased with the way it came out.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, me too. I'm glad that you refined the approach and made sure that you stuck to guidelines. I think that's what I was looking for anyway. And so a great addition to the Jar of Destiny series. All right, high marks on this one. Thanks for watching. If you have comments about this style or like to just talk about any of the Jar of Destiny videos, leave a comment below. We'll be continuing the series. Next week is my beer. I guess subscribe to our channel because we do this kind of thing every single week. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. Brew on!
Cheers.